Welcome to the Positive Growth Doctor podcast for women. I'm your host, Dr. Christina Wilson. I created Positive Growth Doctor after years of dealing with societal expectations, self-doubt, perfectionism that led to imposter syndrome. I leveraged my 30 years of experience as a positive psychologist to address limiting beliefs and gain clarity to build confidence and navigate obstacles to achieve a healthier well-being. I knew that pain all too well, so now I empower women to achieve confidence and live a positive-centered life. Subscribe to the podcast and check out earlier episodes so you don't miss a thing. Let's get to it. Welcome to the Positive Growth Doctor podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Christina Wilson. We are a week into December. That means that Christmas is around the corner. So let's do a quick pulse check. Okay? So when I say that Christmas is around the corner, how does that make you feel? What are you feeling? What's the first thing that comes to mind? What do you feel in your body in terms of, do your muscles tighten up? Are you clenching your jaw? Do you feel fear, overwhelm, or dread? We often overlook what our body is telling us and also our mind in the midst of all the stress that we experience from time to time in our lives. So when it becomes chronic or long-term, it feels like it's just another day and we don't notice it as much because stress is what we know at that point. So in this episode, we explore the heightened stress the women often feel around the holiday season due to the increased mental and physical loads. And we discuss how societal expectations often clash with God's vision for women and offer faith-based interventions to help you manage the stress. So you'll gain practical strategies to embrace a more joyful, fulfilling holiday experience. So tune in to align your holiday season and with faith and joy. So find the full transcript for this episode on your favorite podcast app and share the podcast with other women to help them grow on their journey through life as well. And you know what? Don't just stop at your friends and family. Extend that reach by leaving a review on Apple Podcast so we can reach so many more women. I appreciate you. So let's dive into understanding the impact of holiday stress on women, but also that mental and physical load that occurs. So holiday planning, it could be exhausting, right? There's long list of things to do. We got the shopping, the traveling, decorating, on top of our usual task, running the kids around, cooking, cleaning, working, so much more. We have a lot on our plates. So women are expected to create this magical, perfect holiday experience for everyone. But the weeks that lead up, to that involve pressure to perform, increased workload, struggles with mental health, or a recurrence of past anxiety and or depression symptoms. And not only is there an increased physical load of getting everything done, but the mental load increases as well. And that might lead to financial worry, grieving the loss of someone that's not going to be there for the holiday, burnout, and self-neglect. Now, God designed men and women differently. And women are described as helpers, and they nurture with strength and dignity. That might feel especially heavy in today's world because over time, the world has latched onto us and society has placed its own stamp on women, creating unrealistic expectations of them. And the focus is on charm and beauty, and those are not aligned with what we as women were intended for. We live in an imperfect world, and we are imperfect human beings, both men and women. We need grace as we navigate, this life in general and continue to learn. It's His grace and His truth that matter the most, not society's. So, aligning with God's expectations with societal pressures as women, what does that mean? Nowhere in the Bible does it say that women are expected to be perfect. It's not in there. Nowhere. On the contrary, women encompass faith, inner beauty, and kindness, and that allows them to help and nurture others with Christ at the center. So, when the world gets a hold of us and no good comes from it, it leads to resentment and stress, anxiety, depression, and more. As a result, sleep is interrupted. We just feel icky. We don't feel good. We feel weighed down. That negative thinking ensues due to excessive worry and comparison, and it's the opposite of what God wants for us, right? And I want to note that stress and worry, when it becomes chronic, it can manifest itself physically, like in our blood pressure and our headaches, muscle tension. It lowers our immunity system. Digestive changes occur, and a whole lot more. So I want to give you some faith-based strategies for managing holiday stress and enjoying the season. Okay? So how do you get through the holidays and serve God in the process? Well, the first is to increase your self-awareness. And and if you've been around me for even a short period of time, you know that it all starts with awareness, right? I talk about that often. And, consider how you dealt with previous stress during the holidays. Okay. And what came up for you physically and mentally. Okay. What were the potential triggers associated with that in the past? You must become aware of these things, right? So that you can grow and to occur so you can manage future holiday stress. Okay. It puts it on your radar. You become more alert and aware so you can catch these things as they're happening. So it doesn't just feel normal, which it's not normal. It's not good. Um, the second thing is that when things come up for, from the past or something occurs in the present, acknowledge it. Okay. It's okay. Acknowledge it and leave judgment behind. Okay. This is all about the judgment, and that we get judgment from others, but we also judge ourselves, and sometimes harshly. Show yourself some grace and recognize what you have control over right now in the present. Because, I mean, the past is the past, right? Meet yourself where you're at. We always talk about how we meet others where they're at. Meet yourself where you're at. Okay. Now, the third is to recognize emotional, mental, and physical cues. Okay. Are you experiencing those negative thought loops? It's when you get stuck and thinking about it repeatedly, like it's on repeat and it's not leaving your head. Um, and you're feeling more physical at that point, because those can go hand in hand. Um, the negative emotions or the physical symptoms in general, like the headaches, um, digestive upset, insomnia, not being able to sleep because you're just playing it over and over and ruminating, right? The fourth is don't reduce self-care because you are too busy. Yeah. I'm speaking to you and you and you and you and me because we've all done it. So self-care is a must anytime, but especially during the holidays. And just come up with 15 minutes a day. That's all that you have to do. And the last is to find an outlet that you connect with. This might be journaling. And I know sometimes people are like, oh gosh, I don't want to journal. Or I'm not, like I've said before, I'm not asking you, hey, go out and write a dissertation or, multiple chapters about how you were feeling about something. And that's not what I'm talking about at all. It is really just, a little bit each day. This was a really hard year for me. What came up and how did I know that it was starting to get to me? What was triggering me? Things like that. Really dialing in and focusing to understand something better and to bring forth that awareness. Okay. So journaling is not only an outlet, but it creates self-awareness, which is really important. So remember the reason for the season and give glory to Him first and foremost. Everything else is going to fall into place, right? And when something doesn't go as planned, and that happens, um, it's hard to get around that, no matter how hard you try. Show yourself grace and let go and give the control to God. He wants to take it on for you, right? So let's meet up again next week for another episode. I appreciate you and have a beautiful week.
Thanks for listening to the Positive Growth Doctor podcast. Be sure to leave a review and tell other women about the podcast. Let's support each other. Find the full transcript for this episode on your favorite podcast app and learn more at thepositivegrowthdoctor.com. And be assured, you are not alone on your journey.